Hello and welcome everyone to race number 3 of the 2023 iACT Winter Warm-Up Series brought to you by GossCars.com. Tonight we are at Hickory Speedway in North Carolina and the iRacing machine is up and ready to roll once again. I'm Nick Mumley with you here live on our ACT YouTube page, and alongside me, the voice of Victory Lane for Thunder Road in the ACT, Michael Stridesberg. Michael, we got a good one here tonight. Hickory's a fun track. We're going to hope for some more green flag racing tonight.
Indeed, 26 cars registered as of the end of practice. Only 24 are going to start the main event tonight, so gonna have to battle just to get in the field, and then 100 hot and heavy laps of action. And already some interesting news in Heat 1. Eric Steele, the 32, was scheduled to go pole, but has not made the call for this heat race. So it is going to be the 78 of Ryan Nolan and the 04 of Justin Prescott on your front row. Then we got the 69 Aiden Young, the 15 of Stephen Hodgson, Dylan Zulo in the 16Z, the 6 of Kyler Davis, and your number 2 point man, you can see him there, Casey Beatty, the 45 by random draw, is going to go on the tail.
Casey Beatty, after a couple of strong runs to start 2024, the lights are off on the iRacing pace car. They come out of turn 4. Ryan Nolan, Justin Prescott, lead him to green. We're racing in heat number 1.
15 laps the distance in this one, 15 laps, and the 04 Justin Prescott gets the jump on the outside in the new look for the AH Fence Company machine. Ryan Nolan in second, but he's got a thundering herd behind him.
As the field dives down into turn number 1 and off of 2, Prescott is away with the lead. Oh, there's big trouble in the back. Stephen Hodgson is in some trouble. We saw him slamming the wall alongside Dylan Zulo. 12 laps to go as those cars make their way down to pit road. We're going to stay green. You can see the smoke pillowing out of the virtual number 15 car of Stephen Hodgson. Trouble for him as we take a look back up at the front here. This is a 3-car jam session for third place. Aiden Young leading the battle in there. Kyler Davis is in the white and black and blue number 6 machine. Looking to his inside, Casey Beatty in the 45, and a little bit of contact into turn 3.
Indeed. As believe all 5 of these cars on the track with Zulo and Hodgson in the pits are going to transfer to the main event, but racing for starting position, because again, the field is set based on the finishing position from these heat races. So you see at the front, the 04 Justin Prescott trying to earn the pole for the main event, but he's got the 78 Ryan Nolan all over his back bumper.
Absolutely, as Nolan continues to try to work his way to the front with 9 laps to go. You see, Justin Prescott's internet connection might be going out as the 04 car blinking up a little bit. Ryan Nolan certainly not going to like that as Prescott comes off of 4, has a car length lead here with 8 laps to go, and now you see Beatty making the move into turn 1.
Indeed, it's a battle for the 3rd position now. The 45 Beatty comes into this event tied for 2nd in the standings. The 6 Kyler Davis, a top 5 point competitor as well. And Nick, there are points for the heat races. 10 for the winner, 8 for 2nd, then 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. So this not just a battle for starting position in the feature, but it's a battle for valuable points towards the GossCars.com iACT Championship.
Absolutely. So every position, every spot on this racetrack, crucial as these guys try to make up some points. Casey Beatty is a guy who's trying to make up some points after last week when he ran up front all day, but late contact with Logan Powers got him an EOL penalty. He had to go to the back of the field and didn't get the finish that he was hoping for with the number 45 team.
Definitely, though, has picked up where he left off. Fastest in practice. Can see he's fast right now, just not quite able to find his way around the 6 of Kyler Davis. He is running out of time, though. We're coming to 3 laps to go, and the battle is still on at the front of the field.
Nolan still trying to find a way to get up to the back bumper of Justin Prescott in the 04. Nolan in that green and blue number 78 machine, still within about a car length of Prescott, but Prescott getting the good run off the corner right there, able to hold on to the lead with 2 laps to go. Nolan trying to get close, but Prescott's got the advantage.
Coming down to the white flag, the 04 Prescott has been hitting his marks. The battles will be for the win and for third place. We'll keep the cameras on this front two as they run. Ryan Nolan going to take one last look entering turn number 3, but to the checkered flag, it's the 04 of Justin Prescott winning heat number 1.
Prescott gets it done. Ryan Nolan in second. Kyler Davis holds on for third. Casey Beatty fourth. Aiden Young fifth. And Dylan Zillow, Nathan Wenzel, Stephen Hodgson, and Eric Steele rounding out the field. Steele did not make the call for the green flag.
And you could also see the 03 of Nathan Wenzel showed up in the ticker during the pace laps. Obviously, a little late getting here tonight, but by golly is here, was able to get on the track and gain a couple positions because of that incident between between Hodgson and Zulo. So at the very least sets him up to be in a good position to qualify for the main event through our consolation round.
Absolutely. As we come back out onto the speedway, heat race number 2 about to get going. You see the starting lineup on the left side of your screen on our ticker there. 15 laps for the heat race. And it looks like the driver from the Series iACT up in Canada, Zachary Fouteau, is going to start on the pole. To his outside, Kyle Goodboe in the 17.
Then in row 2, we have the 9 of Jason Ricker and the 64 for Jason Pelkey, excuse me, not the first time we've gotten the Pelkeys confused. The 12 CT, that is PJ Evans, your winner 2 weeks ago at the virtual New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Then it's your winner last week, Reese Bogue in the 4. So our 2 winners this season going to come out of row number 3 in Heat 2.
Then you've got Taylor Hoare in the 48 and JJ Goodboe in the 92 rounding out the field. Doesn't look like Corey Pay is going to make the call for heat race number 2, but we are underway racing once again here at Hickory, and it's going to be Goodboe off the second corner with a little bit of an advantage as he tries to get around the 90 of Fouteau.
In car, we look at the 90 of Fouteau as he is still chasing that 17 of Goodboe. Goodboe, a very strong second place finish last week at Oxford, nipping at the wire and out there early. But we are going to take a look back here in the back of the pack. We have got a cattle call for second on back in this thing.
Look at these guys all over each other for position. Your last 2 race winners are in there. Oh, and there's contact. Pelkey goes sideways. He's able to get it going, but he got corrected there off the front nose of last week's winner, Reese Bogue, and now they're still having trouble back there on the entry of 1. Cars bouncing off of each other as JJ Goodboe gets even to the inside of Reese Bogue. Bogue trying to gather it back up and get things going here. He's one of your guys in the points chase here early on in this 2024 season. Certainly doesn't want to have any problems as we race here tonight at Hickory.
Indeed, but you can see the front valence on that 4 car already crinkled in the early going. Has got it straight, though. Currently rides in the 5th position. As we see up front, the 9 of Jason Ricker goes around contact with PJ Evans, and Ricker goes spinning out of the 3rd spot. Looks like we are going to stay green with 9 laps to go in heat number 2.
Staying green as Evans gets the rear bumper of the 9 car of Ricker there. Evans settling into 3rd place. Fouteau is still in 2nd. As you can see, he's about a little underneath a second behind Kyle Goodboe, who had such an impressive run last week at Oxford, Michael. I think that of all of the drivers that we saw last week at Oxford, Goodboe was the most impressive to me. He made a good run up through the field and was really fighting for the win there at the end, and now here he is driving away with the heat race.
Indeed, Tyler Goodboe, really one of the rising stars of late model racing in the Northeast. As you can see, PJ Evans going to pit road in the 12 car. Evans with trouble is going to pit out of the 3rd spot with 6 laps to go in heat number 2.
Interesting there for Evans. Wonder what's going on with the 12 Connecticut. Either way, that's going to make for a very difficult day for him, as he's not going to qualify very well in this race. I believe, Mike, you said we've got 25 cars that are trying to make the show here tonight. 24 will qualify, so only one driver is going to be going home at the end of this thing. You don't want to be that driver when you're in this session when only one of them's going home.
Indeed, we did have 25 at the end of practice. We did see we had at least 1 late entry in the 03 of Nathan Wenzel, but still, you've got to fight just to make in the field. and I believe it's 6 cars qualifying out of each heat. So the 48 of Taylor Hoare rides in the final transfer spot. Got a comfortable gap you can see on our ticker from over the 9 of Jason Ricker in that spin, and running out of time as we are inside of 2 laps to go here in heat number 2.
Yeah, Taylor Hoare in a great position to make the race in that 48 machine. As you can see, she's riding in 6th place as we come around with 1 lap to go for Kyle Goodboe in the car number 17. He's opened up that lead to over a second now on Zachary Photo as he'll bring it down into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. 2nd place last week, 1st place in his heat race today. Goodboe is on a move here early on in the 2024 iACT Winter Warm-Up Series.
Zachary Fateau takes the 2nd spot. Then we have Reese Bogue, JJ Goodboe, Jason Pelkey, and unofficially Taylor Hoare, your final qualifier in that one. Everyone else is going to have to go through the last chance qualifier coming up here in a moment following heat number 3 as that gets ready to roll on the track. 9 more cars in this one, so we did end up at 27 total entries for the Bert Duffy Excavation 100. Again, 24 are going to start the main event. Nick, let's take a look at the starting lineup. We got a new face to the iACT season starting on the point.
Yeah, he's back from vacation. The tropical storm, Caden Fisher, on the pole position for heat race number 3 in the familiar SD Ireland Concrete Ford Mustang. To his outside, it's going to be the multi-time champion crew chief for Jason Corliss on the 66 Ford Mustang at Thunder Road and on the ACT Tour. Andrew Hill takes with the 77 car here this evening.
Joel Hodge in the 36, the former Flying Tiger champion at Thunder Road, goes inside row number 2. Then the 13 for one of our top point drivers, Bob Eldred. The 66 is Mike Young, and our 3rd place finisher last week at Virtual Oxford Plains Speedway, the 8 for Richie Murray out of Rhode Island.
Yeah, excited to see what Richie Murray can do here in his 2nd iACT start. Behind him is the 47, Gabe Brown, going to be starting from 7th. Trent Goodrow to his outside, car number 31, rolls off 8th. Kyle Willis rides shotgun in car 43. Green flag is out. Heat 3 underway as Fisher gets the jump into turn 1. Oh, and immediately gets tagged. Contact. Everybody's around. Mike Young in it. Andrew Hill, Caden Fisher. Caution flag is out for the first time.
Our first caution of the night, the 18 of Caden Fisher. We're going to back it up here and see if we can see what happened in this one. Is trouble coming to us right at the start. So yeah, we're going to just take a look here, and
it looks like Fisher got in there a little bit, and I think Hill got in, might have misjudged his line going into 1. Maybe Fisher was a little bit higher up than he thought, and then Andrew backs out of the gas to try to give Caden an opportunity to save it, but just gets run over by the field behind him and creates a melee between your top 3 starters in this race, all getting involved. Mike Young, you see, sliding in there at the end, but we'll re-rack him and get back going in this heat race.
Indeed, that really changes the complexion of this one right here, because your front row along the 66 Mike Young immediately have to drop to the rear, and that's gonna, now they've got to come from the back in this one. They've still got 15 laps because no laps were completed, but you always want to be fighting from ahead and not from behind, don't you, Nick?
Yeah, absolutely. That totally changes the way that these guys are going to be able to attack this heat race. And now they're just going to be fighting to get in the show as we roll around here. Mike, are we still under slow motion?
We might be. Let me take a look at that.
I was going to say, these cars are going awfully slow. There they go. And we caught it just in time for the green flag.
When you find the new tools, sometimes it, takes a little while getting used to, but they did look so nice going so slow like that, didn't they?
Yep, there's something to be said about race cars going slow. There always has been. 10 laps to go in heat race number 3, and look who has joined the party. Richie Murray, car number 8. He had such a strong showing last week at Oxford, and to his inside, Bob Eldred in the car number 13. Trent Goodrow is in 3rd. We got a 3-car fight for the race lead with 9 laps to go.
And the 18 of Caden Fisher already going to work. You can see he's up to the 5th spot now behind the 47 of Gabe Brown. already gained 2 spots quickly and may not be done yet as he looks to the outside going into turn number 3.
Yeah, this race might not be over for Caden Fisher as he makes a strong move to the inside, an aggressive slide down to the inside on Gabe Brown. A little bit of contact as they go down into turn number 3. Can Caden Fisher get that spot away? I'll tell you though, as they make more contact, if Fisher can get this spot, those leaders are not making up any ground because they're running nose to tail, side by side all over each other. Fisher, though, he's got to get around Gabe Brown here without much more contact.
They've swapped so much paint. I think they may have changed numbers on these 2 cars as they barrel into turns 1 and 2 again. It is the 18 of Fisher who's going to get the advantage and go to the number 4 spot. And with that, we're going to head back up to our top 3 because there are 4 laps to go, and you can still throw a blanket over this front trio.
Hey, you never know. We might see a finish to this heat race like we saw at Atlanta yesterday in the NASCAR Cup Series. How about that finish in that race last night? But Bob Eldred and Richie Murray, you can see them right up high against the turn 4 wall off the corner with 3 laps to go. Murray might have a little bit of an advantage as he pulls out to half a car length lead over Eldred on the inside.
Yeah. I could see in practice getting all the way right up against that wall in the corner is the fast way around, but if you misjudge it, if you slip even just a little bit, then you slide right over that line into the wall. You can see, though, for now, the 8 of Richie Murray has made it work on the outside as we are on the final lap.
You saw Trent Goodrow think about 3 wide there as well. Richie Murray's cleared him. He's got an opportunity here to get a heat race victory in just his 2nd career iACT Series start. Off of turn 4, he's going to do it. Richie Murray from Rhode Island gets it done in the 8 machine. He's the winner of heat race number 3 here from Hickory.
Bob Eldred, the 13, getting 2nd. Then Trent Goodrow. Caden Fisher climbs all the way up to 4th. And then we had the 47 of Gabe Brown rounding out the field. And we can tell you now that based on the field gridding up for the Consi, that it was in fact 5 cars qualifying Consi because there are 15 locked in. We've got 12 in this last chance consolation race that is coming to the line right now. 15 laps. Top 9 unofficially will advance to the rear of the field based on how they finish. Everyone else, well, we hope to see you next week at Virtual 5 Flags.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a pretty stacked consolation round as well. As we look at the front row, we've got Dylan Zulo in car number 16 to his outside. Taylor Hoare in the Goss Cars number 48 machine. Joel Hodgson will start 3rd. Nate Wenzel will roll off from 4th in that white and blue number 03.
Jason Ricker in car number 9 is going to start inside of row number 3, and then it is the 66 of Mike Young. Then you have Stephen Hodgson in the 15, and the 12 of you winner 2 weeks ago, PJ Evans, coming out of the consolation round in this one.
Yeah, he's going to have to come from the back of the Consi as well here. As you see, Andrew Hill, who started 2nd place in his heat race, but early contact with Caden Fisher sent him to the back. And to his outside, Kyle Willis in the 43. Eric Steele and Corey Peo once again not making the call here. So 15 laps and 10 starters for these final positions here tonight at Hickory. Who's going to make it into the show? Who's going to go home early?
Indeed. Eric Steele and Corey Pea, possibly some internet troubles, some virtual engine issues, something happening on those. But it's turned this into an eliminate one. Who is going to be left holding the bag and who's going to be in the Bert Duffy Excavation 100? The green flag is out.
And what a start there for Zulo in the 16. Taylor Hoare struggling on the outside as Hodgson gets by. Now Ricker's going to get by, and Wenzel's going to make an effort as well. Hoare's going to be all the way back to 5th on the first lap as her backslide continues.
Oh, we got trouble as Joel Hodgson looping it off turn 2 in the 36. Not sure if there was any contact or if he just broke loose off turn 2, but he goes all the way to the back of the field. And he is now the odd man out in this one. And trouble until the 03 Nathan Wenzel goes around. Oh, boy, things getting hairy early in this one.
And Hodgson passes Wenzel, so those two at the back of the field, as we stay green, they might be fighting for the last qualifying spot. all these cars that are up in this pack here, they're already qualified as long as they just keep it clean, because Hodgson and Wenzel aren't making their way back up to make a move here on these guys. But clearly they're not interested in that, as Evans gets in there. Hodgson now goes spinning, and now here comes Joel Hodgson back into the race. Wenzel's back into the show. Stephen Hodgson now the last man out.
Oh man, oh man, oh man. And Taylor Hoare has been having trouble on the outside. Oh, and now Taylor Hoare is in trouble. We were just going to say she had been holding on thanks to that trouble, but she pulls down and is now in the pits in that 48 machine, man. There are more twists in this one than a good M. Night Shyamalan movie.
And so Hoare now down on pit road. That will take her out of the running to qualify for the show. Stephen Hodgson with a deep breath, he's back in, and now, I mean, it's just ride it around, guys. Everybody's gonna make it.
Well, I've seen some crazy things happening in racing, Nick. So even though there's 7 laps to go, one thing you know about racing is you've never seen it all. So I'm not gonna pass judgment on anything. But right now it is at the front, the 16Z of Dylan Zulo and the 9 Jason Ricker in that Oxford 250 machine, well out in front, going 1-2.
Yeah, Jason Ricker trying to close that gap a little bit on Dylan Zulo, and you can see on the left side of your screen, he is closing it down just a little bit. About a half second is the gap between first and second right now with 5 laps to go. But Dylan Zulo, he got off to a good jump on that initial start, and he's off with the lead right now. But you can see that gap keeps closing and closing down to about 0.3 of a second now with 3 laps to go.
Yeah, last time out of turn 2, you could see the 16 just scrape the wall a little bit. That was all Jason Ricker needed to close it down. This is a starting position, but more importantly, it's pride. You want to be able to say that you won, and the 9 of Jason Ricker has got 3 laps to try and figure out a way around Dylan Zulo.
He is making his way to the inside here. Ricker trying to get something going. 2 more times around Hickory in the consolation round here for the iACT Tour. Coming off of turn number 2, it's maybe a half a car length, the gap between first and second. Ricker has closed that gap. Zulo trying to hold on now as they come to the white flag.
One more time, you see the 9 of Ricker dip the left side tires below the yellow line there, trying for any way around him, but he is not going to get there. Off of turn 4, the 16 of Dylan Zulo wins the consolation race. Jason Ricker in the 9 in second. Then you have PJ Evans, Mike Young, Andrew Hill, Joel Hodgson, Kyle Willis, Nathan Wenzel, and Stephen Hodgson, as you see him pile up after the start-finish line, transferring into the Bert Duffy Excavation 100. No, got a 5-minute warm-up now, Nick, and that's your chance to catch our breath.
Yeah, my goodness, what an exciting round of qualifying that was. If we can get a race that's half as good as what we just witnessed for the qualifying sessions here, we're in for a good one here tonight. 100 laps will be the distance as we watch these cars go out for their 5-minute warm-up. Michael, that's a good opportunity to tell you about our sponsors here on the iACT Tour, and we'll keep you up to date here with the schedule and the results for what's happened here earlier on this year as well.
Yes, let's start with the sponsor of tonight's event. That is Bert Duffy Excavation, based out of Milton, Vermont. They will do anything you can think of in terms of excavation. They do residential and commercial projects, trucking, equipment transportation, foundations, ditching, driveways, septics. If you live in northwestern or central Vermont, they are the ones to call. You can contact them by emailing bertduffyexcavation@gmail.com. Give them a call at 802-782-7371, or find them on Facebook. Just type in Bert Duffy Excavation. Get in touch for your next project.
Absolutely. We're super excited to see Bert Duffy Excavation on board with us here tonight at Hickory, so thank you to the support for that from them. Also, our series here, the iACT Winter Warm-Up Series, the presenting sponsor is GossCars.com. They have locations all around the region, whether it's Goss Dodge, Goss Chrysler, Jeep Ram. You've even got Goss Chevrolet over there with that beautiful dealership over in northern New York in Champlain. Go check them out. You're looking for a car, Goss has probably got it. So you can go, you can look online at their inventory, you can give them a call, you can stop into one of their showrooms and probably meet one of their friendly salesmen. And if you're in the market for a car right now, Goss is the place to go. You can visit them at gosscars.com.
And last but certainly not least, Nick, all setups for the gosscars.com iACT Winter Warm-Up Series are provided by the RKM Setup Shop. That's Ryan Q Motorsports. Some of you may know Ryan Q, an outstanding racer, as we see some crashing here in the warm-up.
Good thing this isn't the feature.
Yeah,
they're going to get it all out of their system right here.
Yeah, that's what we can hope for. As we were saying, as we tangle some more, Ryan Kuhn is an outstanding driver in real life, former past North champion, ACT Rookie of the Year, but where he really shines is in iRacing. He can win just about anywhere in iRacing, and he has started up RKM Setup Shop to provide setups so that other people can have the same success that he has. He does NASCAR setups, short track setups, dirt setups. If you name a track in iRacing, and he will provide you a setup to go out there and kick some tail. You can contact him at rkmsetupshop@gmail.com. Visit rkmsetupshop.com, or again, find him on Facebook and take your iRacing game to the next level with the best setups in all of virtual racing land.
Yeah, absolutely. All the cars out here tonight, you might not know it at points, but they all have a wonderful RKM setup in there on the virtual chassis, getting those cars going around here. And I'll tell you what, if you've ever driven the baseline setup on an iRacing event, and then you put an RKM setup in there, it's like driving a completely different race car. That's how good these are. Ryan knows what it takes to get these cars turning right. So you're not wanting to crash, you're not wanting to take down the outside wall on the exit of the corners. These setups are top notch, and we're super thankful that he's given us these setups to play with here in the iACT series. And if you're an iRacer looking to step up your game, for sure go check them out. But Michael, we are on race number 3 here of the 2024 schedule. Just a few seconds left here in this warm-up, but we'll get you through what's coming up here in the next couple of weeks. Next week, we're going to be at Five Flags Speedway for a 100-lapper. That's on March 4th, next Monday. Then the Monday after that, we're headed to South Boston for 150 laps on that tight little bull ring. That should be a fun race. Then we're back at Oxford for 125 laps on March 18th. Thompson for 75 laps on March 25th. And we're crowning the champion, capping it all off on April 1st. 150 laps at North Wilkesboro Speedway.
Indeed. And we're visiting some tracks here coming up where we're getting to find out, get a taste of what might happen if you put the real ACT series on tracks like Five Flags, like South Boston, like North Wilkesboro. Love for it to work out for the real ACT tour to go to those tracks someday, but until then, iRacing provides the next best thing, and I'm sure the drivers are excited about racing at those tracks as we are about watching them.
Absolutely. And as you can see on your screen, 100 laps on the board, 24 cars on the grid. We're just about ready to go racing here tonight in the Bert Duffy Excavating 100 from Hickory.
On the pole with his win in heat number 1 will be the 04 of Justin Prescott, heading into his second year of ACT late model competition. Outside last week's second place finisher, the 17 Kyle Goodboe. Then in row 2, you've got the 8 of Richie Murray, your third place finisher last week at Oxford, and the 78 of Ryan Nolan.
Starting from position number 5 on the inside of row number 3, you've got the 90 of Zachary Foteau looking for his best run in the iACT series. Then you've got Bob Eldred. Kyler Davis rolls off 7th. Reese Bogue in 8th.
Then you have got the 31 of Trent Goodrow and the 18 of Caden Fisher going row number 5. 92 JJ Goodboe, Kyle's brother, And you have the 64 of Jason Pelkey, 69 Aiden Young, 16 Dylan Zulo, and I believe we're coming to the green.
Here we come. Green flag is out. Side by side they go into turn one. We're racing for 100 laps at Hickory. Prescott with the jump on the inside, but he gets loose off of corner number 2. Goodboo to his outside, takes advantage of the slip up from Prescott, and Goodboo might have led lap 1. It was real close as they go pace lap formation into turn number 2 for the second time.
Prescott taking the short way around on the inside, but the 17 of Goodboo keeping it wound up, and he definitely leads lap number 2. Behind him, there's still side by side as well, the 8 of Richie Murray and the 78 of Ryan Nolan going door to door.
Guys battling it out for third place here as Goodboo takes the advantage. He gets around Prescott on the top side. Prescott will settle in single file in second. Still fighting for third. It's Murray and Nolan. Give the advantage to Nolan off of the corner. But Murray trying to stay in there and keep that nose planted on corner entry to 3. Nolan, though, I think is going to get him off of 4, and he will.
And we're going to see if this opens the door for the 45 of Casey Beatty, who has been strong in both races so far this season, but not gotten the win to show for it. He's getting it wound up, though, on the outside in that 45. A little contact with Bob Eldred, but hangs on to it. Caution, though, is out on the speedway.
Yeah, we saw some cars going around off of turn 4, I believe, way back in the field there. First caution flag of the event with Kyle Goodboo out in front, and Justin Prescott holding on to second position on the racetrack.
Indeed. Looking, still trying to figure out who it was at the back of the field, but had some great racing there. We're under caution, though. Drivers going to get a chance to catch their breath with 6 laps complete in the Bert Duffy Excavation 100.
6 laps complete. That would leave us with 94 laps to go. Good early start to this race, Mike. I mean, it looks like to me, we saw last week, Oxford, the inside was the place you wanted to be. We saw guys work all race long, trying to work their way around the outside to build enough momentum to make something happen. But tonight we saw the second place car and the fourth place car in the starting lineup make their way around and gain some advantages there on the guys they were battling on the inside. So might be a little bit of a flip the script kind of night here tonight at Hickory.
Yeah, so far we've seen both lines working very well, but the big question, of course, is going to be as these tires wear out, as we get some laps on them, as the track builds up some rubber, how is it going to change? Is one lane going to gain anything over the other? Just one of the exciting things about these races, and I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. And another thing about Hickory is the tire fall off can be dramatic here. We've got great Ryan Kuhn motorsports setups in these machines here tonight that really kind of offset the effects of tire fall off. But it's still going to be prevalent here as this race continues, especially if there's long green flag runs.
And we're going to start a green flag run here. The green flag is back out. The 17 of Kyle Goodboo choosing the outside with lane choice. Oh, but he is loose, and the caution, though, is back out in this one.
Yeah, they didn't survive turn 1 there.
Indeed. We can see the 47 of Gabe Brown on pit road, possibly involvement is there, and we see damage on the 66 of Mike Young as well. We're going to back this up here and see if we can figure out what happened to bring out this most recent caution. We can definitely see a flagman waving it. That's definitely helpful.
Our flagman needs to chill out. He's going to hurt his arm again. They didn't even make it to green.
You can see right there the 47 of Gabe Brown getting into the wall as they come to the start-finish line. Looks like 43 Willis, 66 Mike Young, just innocent victims there.
Yeah, I think Gabe got some help going into the wall right there. Not sure what happened, but they did not even make it to the green flag. I wonder if there was a stack up on one of the lines or what was going on there. But nonetheless, caution flag out for the second time today. We have 7 laps complete out of 100 here today, but the field doubling back up. Trying to make this a quick caution as Goodboo is going to be on the inside this time with Prescott up top. We saw Goodboo get out of shape there off the second corner last time by. We'll see if he can keep it straight this time around.
Well, and you notice he chose the inside of this time. I guess he decided if he gets loose this time, he doesn't want the wall to be the first thing that he hits. But he gets a great jump on the start and will lead him down the back straightaway.
Yeah, he's got a good car here tonight. We saw him drive off in the heat race. Really the only guy that was able to drive away in their heat race. And now, I mean, we saw on the initial start, these guys really took to the outside lane, made some hay up there. Prescott's trying to stick around up top, but Goodboo is holding his own on the inside, and he's making something happen here off the corner number 4.
Goodboo, the young teenager out of Lincoln, New Hampshire, goes back to the point. Justin Prescott immediately under attack from the 8 of Richie Murray. He ducks to the inside of turn 3 and 4. We see trouble in the back. Caden Fisher and others stacking it up in turns 3 and 4. The caution is back out.
We have the big one in turn number 4 here.
Indeed. Trouble again with 11 laps into this one. And let's see if we can find out what happened here, Nick. We're getting the hang of our new toys here, and we're going to see what happened here in this one. Whoa, hang on there.
I think we've got 2 separate wrecks.
Yeah.
Looks like
I'm
Fisher...
trying to get it in slow motion,
got
but my fingers are having trouble. We'll get it, though. So, yep, we can see there contact between the 92 and the 18 of Fisher, and you look, the 12 of Bogue...
Evans.
Just kind of a stack up there, gets tagged by the 64 of Pelkey, and then it's Varshi Blows, Dylan Zulo, Aiden Young, Reese Bogue, last week's winner, all piling into this one.
Yeah, for sure. Wow, there's 2 separate wrecks right there. That was almost impressive.
And a lot of good cars involved in that one. It is still early with about 90 laps to go, but Reese Bogue came into this as the point leader, had trouble in his heat, now has trouble in the feature as well. A rough going early for the 4 machine.
Yeah, I don't think he's having a whole lot of fun right now, but it's a long race. And I'll tell you, we've sat here, we've seen these first 2 races have a lot of issues with caution flags. We had a long discussion this week about what to do to kind of make these yellow flags less and less. And a couple of things that we implemented were incident points. So every time you run into another car, or a car runs into you, you get incident points. And you can only get 25 incident points before you get a 1-lap penalty. If you get 35, you're done for the night. And if you're involved in two accidents where you are the aggressor, you start the accident. The first one, you get a trip to the end of the longest line. The second one, better luck next week. You can come back and try it again next week. That if you cause 2 accidents tonight, disqualified. So hopefully as this race goes along, we'll see some more green flag spells, but early on in this one, still a little bit of rowdy and rambunctious racing.
Indeed. We'll see what our eye in the sky has to say going forward, but in the meantime, the green flag is back out after caution number 3, and the 17 of Kyle Goodboo again getting the jump. A bit of a slide job there as he secures the lead. They're going to go side by side for second off turn 4.
Yeah, Goodboo gets the jump this time that he was looking for, and Richie Murray now instantly right underneath the 04 of Justin Prescott. They'll fight for position off of corner number 2. There's Casey Beatty in the 45 machine. He makes his way up, slides it in front of Ryan Nolan. Nolan has to do all he can to keep it out of the wall there in that bright green number 78. Bob Eldred sneaking in there for position as well as he go 3 wide off at corner number 2.
Indeed, still everyone fighting for what they can get here early in the going as watch the 13 and the 78 go side by side for 5th. Nolan, the 78, a strong driver, former winner at Claremont Speedway, at Thunder Road, many other places in the Northeast, have been running into some trouble the first couple weeks here in the GossCars.com iACT series, but looking solid early. As up front, ahead of him, we've got a challenge for third, the 45 Beatty looking to the outside of Richie Murray.
Yeah, Murray had a good run going there on Justin Prescott on the inside, but the outside lane once again prevailed, and now Beatty jumps topside in car number 45, and he's going to whip that white and blue Ford Mustang to the top side of Murray and make the pass. Casey Beatty's up to third. He's going to set his sights for Justin Prescott.
About a quarter of maybe a half a second between the 45 of Beatty and the 04 of Prescott, but the caution flag is back out in this one on lap number 18 with trouble in the back of the field.
Yeah, trouble here once again for some of the drivers running in the back of the pack. I think Caden Fisher's okay. Aiden Young has some damage. Kyle Willis.
Yep, we can. That's often what happens, is that you just get stacked up in the back of the field, but the poor thing is the caution back out. We don't yet see anybody on pit road in this one, so hopefully that's a good sign that whatever it was not too serious, if nothing else.
Yeah, absolutely. As we roll under our fourth caution period of the day, but it's a good little green flag run right there. We saw Casey Beatty making some moves, pull up to third place. Now, if I'm Beatty, I'm interested in seeing what the lane choice looks like here, because you're not going to get lane choice from the third starting position. You know you're going to be on the inside. If I'm Beatty, I want to be I want to be behind the 17 of Goodboo, and I bet you Goodboo will know that. Probably take the outside here, because Goodboo's the only car that we've seen so far be able to make the inside lane really work and be able to get around another driver. So I think that 17 is the class of the field here tonight. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, and I think he's going to choose the inside.
That is incorrect. The 17 of Goodboo takes the inside. 04 Prescott, Casey Beatty, Richie Murray, Bob Eldred, and Ryan Nolan are going to be your front three rows as they come to the green flag.
Well, here they come. Green flag is out. Prescott didn't get up through the gears all that well, and that's going to give Goodboo the advantage off of corner number 2. He's going to clear him. Casey Beatty down to the inside of Justin Prescott in the 04. Here they come off of corner number 4. Goodboo away with the lead. They're side by side all the way back through the rest of the field.
Well, Casey Beatty got what you, Nick, said he wanted, and he's trying to take advantage. He has the fender up, and the train trying to come with him as the 13 of Bob Eldred behind him, you see, has been able to get to the inside of Richie Murray in the battle for fourth spot, and Trent Goodrow thought about 3 wide behind him, but thinks better of it.
Yes, he did, as they roll through turns 3 and 4. This side-by-side racing is exactly what Kyle Goodboo wants to see in the 17 machine, as he is pulling away. That lead now up to a half a second, as Casey Beatty just cannot get around the 04 Prescott. Now he's going to back out of it, maybe try the outside, but I think he backed out of it too hard as Kyler Davis slams the wall.
Oh, yes, Kyler Davis hard into that outside wall. Coming off turn 4, the caution is back out with lap 22 of this one. And let's see if we can see what happened here. And actually looks like it may have been a little contact between the 31 and the 78.
Yeah.
Gets the 78 out of shape and just tags Kyler Davis in the right rear. And then Kyler Davis just along for the ride in that 6 machine.
My goodness. That's one of those hits, like we said last week. We're glad that that was a virtual hit and not a real hit, because that would have hurt, as Davis slams the turn 4 wall head on. Yeah, indeed. I think you're right, Mike. It looked like to me that the 31 kind of got into the back of Ryan Nolan right there. But I think Kyler was coming up the racetrack a little bit. I think he was a little bit tight on the corner exit. And I think those two factors kind of played into each other. It wasn't like the 78 got completely hooked into the right rear Davis. I think he was kind of sideways, and Davis kind of came up across the nose, and the angle of that 78 car was what launched Kyler up into the turn 4 wall like that. But man, that's a wild hit there early on in this race, and tough break for Kyler, because that's going to be the end of his day, and he was having a really strong run.
Yeah, Nick, that sounds like a really long-winded way of saying it was one of them racing deals.
Precisely.
Indeed. We are under caution again on lap 22. Let's take a quick look through the field as we do, as they're doubling. Oh, the lights are going to stay on for one more lap. The 17 of Goodboo again has been showing the most of the way at the front. The 04 of Prescott in second, then 45 Casey Beatty in third. The 13 of Bob Eldred, then Richie Murray. And take a look at who is up to the 6th spot. The 4 of Reese Bogue had trouble earlier, but showing why he's the early point leader in this series, has battled his way back, damaged nose and all, to the number 6 spot.
It's ironic that he's racing in the number 4 car tonight, because we can say, hey, where did he come from? Just like Kevin Harvick back in the day.
But we'll just call him the closer. Field is doubling up, getting ready to go back racing in this one. Again, the 17 of Goodboo is going to choose the inside for this restart. Nick, they are heading towards you.
Here they come, doubled up in tight pacing formation off of turn number 4. The pace car moves down to the pit road, and we're racing again. Here on lap number 23, Goodboo again gets the jump, beats Prescott through the gears. Beatty underneath Prescott looking for second as Goodboo looks to get away with the lead. Prescott, though, he's not done with it. He's trying to fight and hold on to that second spot on the outside.
And that's exactly what he's going to do. And when the 45 of Beatty slid up, the 13 of Eldred had to check up a little bit. That stacks him up a bit behind him. And the field settling out, though, as we see one car sideways, and the 9 of Jason Ricker goes around as the field stacks up, and the caution flag is back out.
Yeah, everybody just stacks up through turns 3 and 4 there, and nobody got out of the gas fast enough, I feel like, and we've got another caution flag as we see what goes on here with Ricker. But yeah, I mean, you can see, and Pelkey was crossed up too there, and Ricker just gets run over by the 18. That's what happened.
Yep, I had seen a car get loose in turn 4, clearly the 64 Pelkey, and usually when an accordion effect like happens, it's not the initial car that got loose, it's the guy 2, 3, 4 rows back that ends up paying the price, and in this case, the 9 of Jason Ricker.
It is Arca Break night in America, Michael.
Oh, dear. Oh. Shush you now. But the 17 of Kyle Goodboo has been exactly where you want to be in all this trouble, out in front of it all, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we saw these guys last week at Oxford too, running around, up at the front of the field. A lot of these accidents happening in the back of the pack, and that works out for the guys that are leading because it's kind of start and stop for them. I'll tell you, though, the one guy that's going to be happy to see all these yellows is Justin Prescott, because he's been able to hold on to that top side position, hasn't let Beatty by him, and one of these times I do believe he's gonna get up through the gears just as good as Goodboo has been, and make a move here and maybe get to hold on to the outside, see what happens. But Prescott there, the longer that he can stay in second, the better for him. We'll see if he can be there at the end of this race, but definitely keeping Casey Beatty behind him is going to be a good deal for both of those cars out in front, because you do not want to be chasing that 45 car.
And keep an eye on row 4 on this restart. The 03 Nathan Wenzel, 77 Andrew Hill have climbed to 7 and 8 from way back in the field. They will be ones to watch as the green flag is back out in the Bert Duffy Excavation 100.
Once again, a good jump there from the 17, but Prescott's able to stay right there on the top side, see if he can pedal that thing off of turn number 4, trying to stay in touch, but Goodboo gaining the advantage off of corner number 4 now into 1 and 2, and down the backstretch. Beatty gets right back to the inside and will continue to go to work on the 04 of Justin Prescott.
Beatty, he has had several attempts, has not quite been able to make it stick on the inside, but he had a bumper up there going into turn 3. 04 Prescott trying to battle back, but right now it looks like Beatty is finally going to secure that second spot.
Yeah, Beatty finally able to get it done, and now Bob Eldred's going to sneak his nose underneath the 04 of Prescott. Prescott is ready for the free fall to end. He wants to settle into P3 for the time being. Let this race play out. But meanwhile, back up front, we've got the 45 Beatty trying to chase down the 17 of Goodboon. And I'll tell you, if these two get into it, these are two really good iRacers. This could be a good, fun battle here as this race continues along. Prescott's having a really strong running as well on the 04.
We had a 8-car pack there for a while, but the 4 of Reese Boak had to check up. That drops the second 3 back a little bit, and Nathan Wenzel takes advantage to go to the 7th spot. I think any of these top 8 drivers, if circumstances fall their way, could be a legit contender to win this race.
Yeah, absolutely. But the one thing that we've seen from the 17 of Goodboot today, he's got a really, really strong race car. And, you know, we saw him drive away in the heat race, starting up front. He's dominated this race so far after kind of coming out of nowhere to put together a strong showing last week in Oxford. You know, if you didn't notice him last week, you're noticing him now in the White Mountain. He'll be in his 2nd year of contention in the White Mountain late model division. He's putting on a strong showing here as the caution flag waves again here on lap 35.
Indeed, caution back out with 35 laps complete in this one. But man, Kyle Goodboot has got to be thinking, man, I've had enough of these cautions, man. Come on. But
he just wants to
as
drive
long as he
away.
stays strong. Although we are starting to get to the point, Nick, where we could start thinking about potential pit strategy. And you might say, oh, a third of the way in is way too early. But we saw last week where Logan Powers, who are unfortunately not in the field today, made a pit stop before the halfway point, used pit strategy, and had a legitimate chance to win that race until a late incident. So who knows what we might see. We did see the 43 of Willis and the 31 of Trent Goodrow on pit road in that, and whether it was because they wanted to or because they had to, that's something to keep an eye on as we get into this race.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's two important points in this right here, and why I think it's vital to make your pit stop early before the rest of the leaders. I mean, number one, like, it's hard to pass. So the earlier that you can get your new tires on and be able to pass cars just by them pitting from being in front of you, the more you can get that, the better. And number two, like you said last week with Powers, it worked out for him and he was able to stay up front. So, you know, I think that these cars can race longer. Like I said, with the RKM setup on them, the tire fall off takes a little bit longer. So if it's me, I'm trying to pit, you know, somewhere, you know, if there's another caution in 10-15 laps, I'm trying to pit on the early side of lap 50 and just seeing what happens here. If I'm one of the leaders, I'm pitting early.
Indeed, but it kind of becomes a game of chicken, doesn't it? Who is going to be the first one to take the plunge?
It does, and all the leaders here, they decided 34 is too early. So we'll see what happens as we go back to green flag racing. Tell you what, though, one of these, if we get a good green flag run here, which the last few runs have been getting a little bit longer and longer as cars fall out of this field. You know, I think these guys are going to get shocked with a green flag run here before too long, and at that point it might be too late to pit.
Indeed, but the 45 of Casey Beatty doesn't want to put it to chance as the caution, though, comes back out. Right?
I jinxed it.
Talk about the side-by-side racing, and that's all you have to mention is, but caution is back out in this one. But we did see the 45 of Beatty on that restart was putting up a very spirited battle on the outside. And already looking ahead, you wonder, does that potentially influence Kyle Goodboot's lane choice on this next restart?
Yeah, absolutely. Beatty had a good run going. You know, if I'm Goodboot, well, if I'm Kyle Goodboot here, it doesn't matter because I'm coming into pit at this point. Unless they double them back up and go straight to green here, which it looks like we're doing.
A very quick caution, just trying to move things along. So Goodboot again takes the outside. Then it's Beatty, Eldred, and don't look now, but the point leader Reese Bogue is up to 4th as we get ready to go back under green.
Here they come back to the stripe. Green flag is out. Oh, Bogue gets touched from behind there. The 8 of Murray got into the back of him, and he's going to keep it straight as they go 3 wide into corner number 3. Nate Wenzel is on there. Andrew Hill, Wenzel might have gotten turned into the wall there just a little bit. It's getting rough and rowdy back in the pack here on lap number 38. So we go back up front. That outside lane choice for Goodboot turned out to be the right decision as Beatty is settled into second, Bob Eldred third, and after all of that, Reese Bogue is held on for fourth.
Bogue it's a little battered on the front, but it is a bad, fast car, and it's got a good driver behind the wheel up to fourth, and the 03 of Nathan Wenzel, last year's New Hampshire state champion at the Claremont Motorsports Park, takes fifth on the outside, even with a few crinkled fenders himself. He is on the move in that Simon-Q number 03. Richie Murray right behind him.
Yeah, Justin Prescott, that car not performing like it was early on in the event. We saw him battling in the top three for much of the early stages of this race, and now he is dropping anchor on the inside of the racetrack. Murray's going to get by now. PJ Evans on the top side looks to get around him. He's going to do so. Andrew Hill will try to be the next car in line, but Prescott's going to move up the track. Hill will jump down to the inside as there's some contact there. Looks like the 15 of Hodgdon walls the 78 of Ryan Nolan, and we stay green.
Indeed, the 04 of Prescott finally able to get what he wanted. You had seen early in the race when he had that outside, he was able to hang on. But once Beatty got past him and Prescott got pinned to the inside, that car just was not getting the drive up off the corner, and he sank all the way to 8th spot before he was able to finally get it back in line.
And we're wrecking again, back at the field again. My goodness. Gotta think some of these guys are getting close to their incident point limit here.
Indeed, you certainly don't want to. We do see several cars on our ticker listed as out of the race, though, so you hope it wasn't because of that. But trouble again here, as we are almost to halfway in this Bert Duffy Excavation 100.
Yeah, we've been running at a much better pace here tonight than we were last week at Oxford. Still working our way to getting long runs of green flag racing. It looks like, I believe we have 17 cars still on track here on lap number 46.
You could see the 78 of Ryan Nolan on pit road there, along with the 43 of Kyle Willis. This will be what to watch, though, as they come around here. Do any of these leaders decide to take the plunge onto pit road with 45 laps complete in this one? You do see the 64 of Jason Pelkey on pit road as well, but so far it's looking like our leaders are staying out.
It looks that way so far. And if I was in this race, I would have taken the jump. I would have said, hey, this could be an opportunity to get some track position, get up to the front of the field, especially Justin Prescott, who free fell there through the field there on that last run. I'm very interested in why these guys are waiting so long to pit. I would have been in 2 cautions ago.
Well, it looks to me like I did see one car that had been running towards the top 10 that ended up on pit road, and that was the 77 of Andrew Hill, who is now at the back of the field. So that's our one potential car among the leaders who pitted, so we'll keep an eye on that as we get along in this race. We are doubled up going back to green, and the 17 of Goodboo rather is again going to take the outside as we go back to green.
Yeah, as he should. That's the place to be. And that Beatty car just hasn't gotten going on the inside like it can on the outside, but this is a good restart for Beatty. They made some contact there going into turn 1, and now they are in a dead heat off of turn number 4. Who's it going to be at the stripe that time? I think Goodboo by just a couple of inches, and now he's going to pedal around that outside where his car has been so good tonight, open it up to a half a car length lead. Beatty trying to stay there. Goodboo, a little bit of contact will take the lead.
Goodboo makes the outside work, and behind him, here comes the 4 of Reese Bogue, all the way up to 3rd spot in the back of the pack, and he may not be done as he took a look underneath the 45 of Casey Beatty there.
Yeah, Bogue with an impressive run up through the field. I mean, we saw him in that big wreck in turn number 3 earlier on in the race. Man, he has gotten this thing figured out, driven it up to the front, past some cars on a night where passing has not been a very easy thing to do, and now is up to third, and he's going to have to find his way around the 45 of Beatty and the 17 of Goodboo. But I'll tell you what, for the points leader, Reese Bogue, through 2 races, he is putting together a pretty impressive resume as he goes for the iACT championship here in 2024.
Indeed. Had a strong run at New Hampshire. Unfortunately, got shuffled back late in the going and ended up, I believe, 6th in that one, but bounced back with a win and entered today unofficially with an 11-point lead in the standings. Casey Beatty, one of those drivers, tied for second points as we watch him right now continue to chase the 17 of Kyle Goodboo. The 13 of Bob Eldred also tied for second in the standings, 11 back of Reese Bogue. The 12 Connecticut of PJ Evans was 4th in points, and the 6 of Kyler Davis rounded out your top 5 coming into this one. But Kyler Davis already out of the race, unfortunately, so that is going to potentially hurt him. At the front, looks like we've got our top 4 point drivers all in the top 7 of this race, though.
Yeah, it's been a good run for a lot of these guys, except for Kyler Davis, and Kyler definitely doesn't want to see the 4 drivers ahead of him all running well within the top 10 here as we get past the halfway point in this race. But another good run here tonight for Bob Eldred in the 13. You know, we've talked about him a little bit. He hasn't really shown up a whole lot, but he's just been running consistently well inside the top 5, just making moves. Hasn't led any laps yet, I don't believe, but he's just there, and he's having good runs week in and week out. Tell you what, that consistency could win him a championship here as we get closer and closer to the final race in North Wilkesboro.
Indeed, I've seen a lot of championships won by a driver who just managed to click off those 3rds, those 5ths, those 7ths week after week, avoid catastrophe, and just outlast everybody. But the championship counts just as much that way as it does if you win 7 out of the 8 races.
Absolutely it does, as now we see a move to the inside. Beatty wants that top spot, so he works his way down to the left side door number on the 17 of Goodboo. Let's take a look inside the 45 of Beatty as we drive it back down into turn 3. He is settled back in behind Goodboo for now after trying to make that move on the inside. But I'll tell you, Casey's car just doesn't have the grip on the inside tonight that we've seen the 17 have. Goodboo, I really think, is the only guy that we've been able to see make a major move to get to the front by using the inside lane. We even saw him choosing the inside with the lane choice on a few of these restarts. But Beatty, he's right there. And look at the way Beatty gets in there, right to the back bumper of the 17, not making contact, but letting him know he is there.
Indeed, you can see the 17 kind of taking this very wide arc into the corner, and all he need, if he just slips like a foot off of that, the 45 is going to be there. And now it has become a 3-car battle, potentially soon to be a 5-car battle, as the 4 of Reese Bogue, the 8 Murray, and the 13 of Eldred are running them down. Yeah,
and at this point in the race, I think that kind of saving tires is out the window, because I would bet that if there was a caution flag anytime soon, a lot of these guys are going to come in pit road, put some fresh tires on it, and get back out there. So I think these guys are kind of going all out right now, seeing what the move they can make is. Where there's an opportunity, they're going to be hard on the gas and hard on those tires to try to make a pass for the lead before another yellow flag comes out here.
The hardest battle on the track right now is this fight for 6. The 12 of PJ Evans has been working and inching forward, and finally is going to clear the 04 of Justin Prescott. Now that he is clear, we're going to see if he can run this front pack of 5 down. But time is starting to tick away. We've basically got a Saturday night feature left in this one. 32 laps to go in the Bert Duffy Excavation 100.
Yeah, this race has calmed down a little bit here in the second half, and seeing a good opportunity for these drivers up front to showcase their skills in a chess match as the race winds itself down here tonight from Hickory. We've got Kyle Goodboo out in front, Casey Beatty rolling in second. Reese Bogue is right to the back bumper, Richie Murray is there, and so is Bob Eldred. Michael, you said it was probably going to become a 5-car pack battle for the lead at some point in this run. Well, here we are. There's 5 cars. They are all under a blanket battling for this top spot.
Indeed, and the first person who can make another groove work, and as we say that, the caution flag is coming out. We can see the 15 of Stephen Hodgson and the 64 Pelkey have run aground entering turn number 3, and that is going to put us under the caution flag in this one, as we'll take a quick look back and see if we can figure out what happened in this wreck, and then we will see who, if anybody, decides to take it down pit road during this caution with just under 30 laps to go.
Well, let's see what happens here. Oh,
and it looks like it got a little close and then a little too close coming down the back straightaway, and unfortunately it ends with the 64 of Pelkey in the wall and the 15 of Stephen Hodgson looking up at the flagpoles entering turn number 3.
Yeah, that 15 just hooked down the racetrack to the left off the corner there. They get together, and now we got our guys on pit road.
Everybody has gone to pit road in this one. You can see them on pit road right now. We've seen some cars exit the pit, so definitely they decide to take advantage of the opportunity to pit.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see how they come out here. I don't believe you're allowed to pass cars on pit road here because the caution laps don't count. But we'll see how exactly it will look. I'm interested in... I know our scoring ticker has been wonky on caution flags, but what's going on with the 17? Where'd the 17 car go here?
Oh, the 17 looks like must have had some trouble in the pits because he is all the way back to 9th. Either that or we had some cars elect to stay out. What we are going to do is we are going to see if we can find our battle box here, which also can help tell us when cars last pitted. So, yep, you can see we're looking at the battle box right here with cars that pitted. We are going to go back to the front. It looks like
they didn't pit.
Reese Bogue, and Rich Murray did not pit, and that is why they are at the front. It looks like Kyle Goodboe, though, did choose to pit, which has put him back to 9th on this restart.
Well, now, as they double up, Mike, we're going to see what happens here with fresh tires. How valuable are they? I don't think any of these guys really know yet, right? Because this is going to be the first time that we're running new tires against old tires. Well, we're about to find out here as they come to green.
Indeed. So the top 7 cars stayed out. Kyle Goodboe, the first car that pitted in 8th. The 45 of Beatty is so far going to hold off the 4 of Reese Bogue on this restart.
As they bring it off of turn number 4, side by side off the corner. Murray trying to battle for 3rd position. Trent Goodrow doesn't want to give it up. Beatty is off with the lead as we speak. Reese Bogue settling in there in 2nd position. Side by side fight for 3rd continues between the 31 and the 8.
Trent Goodrow entered tonight 6th in the standings, and we're going to take a look here.
Oh, caution flag is out. PJ Evans with some trouble back there off of turn number 2.
Oh, no. One of our winners
gets stopped up.
Oh, boy. And that changes things once again, as they say.
Absolutely.
Let's take a look back here and see if we can figure out what happened to bring out this most recent caution. No, it looks like the... Okay, yes.
It was off of turn number 2.
Well. And look, if we're going to see here...
He gets underneath the 78, and that's what happens when you get caught up in lap traffic. Not lap traffic, but just in the traffic of the field. Yeah, Goodboe got in the back of him. It looked to me
like there might have been some contact from the 17 of Goodboe as well, Nick. If we'll back it up here again and see if we can get one more look.
Yeah, the 12 tried to get underneath the 78, and I think kind of had to back out of it so he didn't go up into the 78. And the loss of momentum from the 12 car was just not what Goodboe was expecting. And I mean, Mike, we talked about all day. Goodboo's having fun up there while everybody else wrecks. Well, now he's become part of it. It's just so hard to get off the throttle here for these guys tonight, apparently. As we roll around here.
And the word from race control is the 17 was sent to the rear.
Wow.
Nick, for contact. He is going to be restarting back in 17th unofficially for this restart.
You see him all the way back at the tail end of the field with 25 laps to go. It's tough to make your way back from that one, I would assume.
Indeed, but a lot can happen in 26 laps. Looks like they are going to take one more lap here. The lights go out on the pace car there. And with that, we are going to quickly reset the front of the field with our pit cars, because as you could see, this 45, the 4 have not pitted. What I was going to mention before that caution, the 31 did pit at lap 34 following an incident. Yep. So we know he's got a good car. He's 6th in points, and he has 34 laps fresher tire than these front two. We'll see if that matters down the stretch.
Here they come. Green flag is out, and we got 26 laps of racing to go. As, there's contact. Beatty almost gets up into the wall, but Reese Bogue might have what it takes to clear Beatty off the corner. Here comes the 45 pedaling back topside. He's going to make the move, try to take the lead back from Reese Bogue. Beatty's car on the outside has been making the hay up top all day long, and now here he comes off of 4. It's still side by side. 24 laps left.
Too close to call at the line there between the 4 of Bogue and the 45 of Beatty. And the 8 of Richie Murray is just waiting to see which of these cars is going to get the break. Off of turn 4 that time, it is Bogue by a nose at the start-finish line, as Beatty now fighting for his life on the top side.
And don't look now, but look who is up to 5th position or 6th position now as he fights with Ryan Nolan, the bright yellow and red SD Ireland Ford Mustang, the Tropical Storm, Caden Fisher, back up into contention right when it matters. We haven't talked about him all day long, Mike, and now he might have a shot here as this race winds down.
Indeed, you don't need to be there at the beginning, you just need to be there at the end. As the front cars continue to go side by side, we have got a huge battle here from 4th on back. The 78 Ryan Nolan trying to get inside Trent Goodrow. Jason Ricker in the mix. The 77 Andrew Hill. It is a cattle call here as the top 3 start to pull away.
Yeah, and the new tires we talked about with Trent Goodrow just haven't really worked out as we might have thought. He's kind of fallen off of this front pack and become part of the second pack here as Ryan Nolan in that 78. Talk about a guy needing a really strong run. Moving up to 4th position here. It's been horrible luck for him at Loudon and at Oxford to kick off the year as we see a car spinning down the front stretch here. Will bring out caution flag number 12 with just 18 laps to go.
Yep. The 17 of Kyle Goodboo, a bad break has gotten worse as we saw him go around. We will back it up quickly and see if we can figure out what happened to bring out this most recent caution.
Oh.
And it looks like another stack up there. The 16 of Zulo didn't quite get on the gas. The 17 of Goodboo had to check up, and the 12 of PJ Evans couldn't get woed up in time, and tags Goodboo, sends him around.
Yeah, that's not the first time those two have tangled tonight. So we see Trent Goodrow is going to come back down pit road. Interesting.
Interesting.
Makes you wonder if he didn't take his tires the first time.
It could be, and also just deciding, well, he's not here to run 5th. He's here to try and get a win, and with 17 laps to go, he's going to see what he can throw at it.
Yeah, what a tough break, though, for Kyle Goodboo, back in 16th position now on the racetrack. He had a tremendous day going. I've said it a few times. I think that's the strongest car in the field, but he made the pit stop for fresh tires, got caught in the back of the field, got into the back of PJ Evans for that caution, and now ends up spun around off the bumper of PJ Evans. Whoa, look out. That's
our free pass car, the 03 of Wenzel. And
that, folks, is why you stay to the inside under caution laps so you don't get run over by the free pass cars. My
Indeed.
goodness.
It's something we've talked about, Nick. the what do? Do you want the fresh tires, or do you want to be out in front of the trouble? And on a related note, I want to call your attention to one car here with 17 laps to go. That is the 9 of Jason Ricker. By my count, he has the highest running car, will confirm our battle box, of people who pitted under that lap 71 caution. So of the drivers who got those fresh tires, him, the 16 of Zulo, and the 13 of Bob Eldred have made it the farthest through the field. We will see if they can continue that charge over the final 17 laps.
It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Will we go 17 laps, green to the end? Will we see more yellow flags? Who knows what's going to happen here, but I'll tell you, Casey Beatty chooses the inside. And Michael, I haven't seen...
Actually, it was I believe it was Bogue scored as the leader, and he chose the outside, Nick. So
I was going to say, why would Beatty choose the inside? That is where he has struggled all day long. We'll see if he can make it happen. Oh, there goes Ryan Nolan, and big trouble in the back of the field. Prescott's involved. Cars scatter. Caution flag once again.
And we see some damage on the 9 of Ricker, who we were just talking about, and let's take a look here.
Oh, yep. That's going to be an EOL.
Yep, a little contact with the 9 of Ricker, and the 878 of Nolan ends up, just touches the wall, but comes back across the track. Hard contact, the 13 of Eldred in it. Yep. 04 Prescott. Oh, a lot of cars collected in this one. The 12 of
Evans is in there too, yep.
Oh, man. Well, and what have we said so many times, Nick? Cautions breed cautions.
Sigh. Yep.
And that is going to shake up the field right once again. And it looks like, and this score forward system that we have here, we discussed that before, but we'll remind again, caution laps don't count, but in iACT/iRacing, we have a score forward system where it counts the lap we're on, and that means the 45 of Casey Beatty is now back on top with 16 laps to go.
Well, that's big because, like I said, I don't think Casey really wants to be restarting on the inside, so he'll be able to choose the outside here. Got Bogue, put him to the inside, but you know, I think last time they restarted next to each other, at least with Bogue on the bottom. Bogue kind of ran a little bit high off the corner, tried to make a little bit of contact with Casey to, you know, get him out of his groove, get him off his line, try to make the move, beat him down the backstretch for the position. So we'll see what happens, but I would feel pretty safe to say that Beatty's going to take the top here.
That is part of the calculus. We see the light go out on the pace car, and as you predicted, Nick, the 45 of Beatty is going to take the outside for this restart. Bogue will go to his inside in second. Then we have the 8 of Murray, the 18 of the Tropical Storm, all the way up to fourth in this one. Then the 16 of Zulo and the 77 of Andrew Hill will round out your front 3 rows as we get ready to go back green.
17 laps to go. Beatty versus Bogue. It comes down to him once again. Green flag is out. And we are racing once again here at Hickory off the second corner. Beatty gets the jump. Bogue giving him no space in there as they come tight off of turn 4. They're close. Beatty might have touched the wall a little bit there. They're still even with 15 laps to go.
Side by side for the lead, side by side for third, side by side for fifth. It is down to it. That time might have been the 4 of Reese, Bogue by a whisker, but the 45 Beatty battling back on the top.
Yeah, this is a good fight for the race lead, and Caden Fisher, he's right there. He's waiting for something to happen. So is Richie Murray in the 8. Murray came so close, got his first podium in his first start last week, trying to go 2 for 2 and maybe cap this one off with a race win. But these guys battling for the lead, they will not give it up. Reese Bogue knows there's a trophy on the line, trying to go back-to-back after winning last week at Oxford. Perhaps a little bit of contact there to turn 1 with Beatty.
It is a legitimate 9-car pack here at the front, Nick. The 77 of Andrew Hill there in 5th. the 12 of PJ Evans, and on the comeback trail after not one but two incidents is the 17 of Kyle Goodboo, looking underneath the 16 of Zulo for the 7th spot as we are coming to 10 laps to go in the Bert Duffy Excavation 100.
Still side by side. Can you believe the side by side action we're seeing here tonight on the iACT Winter Warm-Up Series? 10 laps to go, all the marbles on the line. 4-car, Reesbogue on the inside, 45, Beatty on the top side. Oh, there's more contact down the front stretch. Caden Fisher's gonna jump the gap. Fisher makes it 3 wide, an aggressive move by the Tropical Storm. They're 3 wide for second into turn 3.
Oh man, inches apart. 45 Beatty, they are gone 3 wide for a full lap. Nobody giving an inch in this one. The 45 Beatty just not giving it up in that extreme outside line.
Caden Fisher forced the issue. Now Beatty's up hard into the outside wall, bounces back down into the inside, gets Andrew Hill in the 77, but here comes Caden Fisher up to second place. He gets around Murray, sets his sights for the 4 of Bogue, and they're spinning again. Caution flag is out.
Oh man. Oh, you just somehow just knew it couldn't quite hang together for another 10 laps the way they were going. As we'll back it up here, and you can see, unfortunately, it came unglued right about here. Here, the 8 and the 77, just everyone fighting for every inch of real estate. Unfortunately, the 77 of Hill gets in the back of Richie Murray, and they both end up outside. Stayed off the wall there, but some more contact here going to put us under the caution with just 7 laps to go, man. 6 laps to go, potentially, this restart. Man.
You having fun yet?
I'm having a blast.
Well, this is the kind of racing we've been waiting for here over the course of the 3 races so far. These guys, the guys that have been able to survive down to the end of these races, it's been a lot of fun. And now we're going to get to see what Caden Fisher can do restarting up at the front. We saw what an aggressive move that was to see the gap that we saw Beatty get up into the wall, kind of loses momentum, and Fisher said, "You left me a hole, thank you very much." And Beatty was not willing to back down and give the spot up with less than 10 laps to go. And 3 wide racing for second place. Reesbogue was probably hoping they would do that forever so he could just drive off into the sunset. That was entertaining.
Oh man, it was. We're going to have 6 laps to go in the restart, and it's not just the top 2 we're going to have to keep an eye on here. Casey Beatty, after all that, is going to restart back in 3rd. Then it's PJ Evans, as we see the 8 of Richie Murray return from pit road. And the 17 of Kyle Goodboo, we thought he was down and out, but he is back up to 5th for this 6-lap shootout to the finish.
Yeah, all these cautions happening within the top 10 now. It's been good for Goodboo, and now he's got a chance here. Coming to green. Here they come. Green flag is out with 6 laps to go. Bogue gets the jump on the inside, and Fisher trying to hold off on the corner exit. They are still going to be even into turn 3 and 4.
The 4 of Bogue choosing the inside, and he is making it work so far. The 18 of Fisher, though, not yet ready to give up as they lean on each other a bit out of turn 2. 18 of Fisher still driving it hard. The 45 Beatty, 17 of Goodboo are looking for room, but they are running out of time, just 4 laps to go.
And here comes Fisher. He led that lap. Now, Bogue gets into the side of him. They touch hard off of corner number 2. Beatty's going to try to take advantage of it. 3 laps to go at the line. Bogue is back to 3rd. Casey Beatty to 2nd.
Casey Beatty on the comeback trail, the 16 of Zulo behind him, but it is the 18 of Caden Fisher who has found a way, and he is pulling out with 2 laps to go, and now has a half second and counting as the battle is for 3rd, the 16 of Zulo on the outside.
Caden and Fisher involved in a couple. Oh, there goes Trent Goodrow.
Hard into the wall entering turn 3.
Wow, what a hit that was for Trent Goodrow. He just got right reared into backstretch wall, turn 2. That's been Calamity Corner here today.
Yeah, we're backing it up here to see if we can figure out what happened in this one. And it looks like a case of...
He slid the tires off turn 4, got up into Prescott, and
Prescott was there. And unfortunately, nothing you can do at that point except to be along for the ride with the 31 and the 04.
Yep. Tough break for those two.
Indeed.
Tough break for Caden Fisher, too. He was gone. He was going to win this thing.
Yep, and after all that, it sets up a green-white checker, and you could see Reese Bogue there cooling the tires a bit on the grass there, Nick.
Reese Bogue has been doing some interesting things to try to keep the tires cool so far in this series, and we'll see if it works out for him here. But
Indeed.
I want to see, where does Caden Fisher choose here? I would assume the outside, but, you try to pinch Beatty down, but I don't think Beatty's going to be in any position to really give Fisher a good lane to get off turn 2 after, Fisher jumped that gap, made it 3 wide. I don't think Beatty's going to give Caden any breaks here on the restart, so we'll see. The outside is the preferred lane, but the inside car kind of has the ability to say, hey, that second lane is mine. You can go up to the third lane and try to beat me down the backstretch from way up top.
Yeah, it's really a question of which lane are you going to be better able to dictate the race from. Is it the outside that's faster, or is it the inside where you can try and use a little bit more racetrack? And it looks like Caden Fisher is going to try and dictate it from the outside with this 2-lap green-white checker shootout to decide this one.
How about Dylan Zulo up there in 4th place as well? Caden, where are you going?
Uh-oh. Caden Fisher goes to the pits.
What in the world?
And we got a spin on the restart. Oh, man. Just when you thought we couldn't write another chapter in this one, Nick.
I've got just a few words for you here, Michael. They are, Michael Stridesburg, have you ever?
No, I've never.
That was
the only other thing I can think to say there isn't appropriate for a family broadcast.
What in the world did we just see?
Oh, man. Caden Fisher just gives it up and goes to the pits. Looks like he is going to rejoin at the tail of the field, but, man,
I wonder if he ran out of gas.
That's the only thing I could potentially think of, Nick, because this is our 16th caution of the race. The 16 of Fisher, his one pit stop was very early in this one. And it looks like we're going to re-racking the field here. So the 4 of Reese Bogue comes up to the outside. And here we go. Green-white checker to decide this one.
Here they go. It's Beatty and it's Bogue on the top side. Reese Bogue trying to get the run. Beatty's going to use up that whole race track to try to get it down. They're coming to 1 lap to go.
1 lap to go. It is the 4 of Reese Bogue by a radiator cap on the outside. They bump. The 4 is in the wall off of turn 3. They are 3 wide now, coming up for turn 4 to the finish. At the line, who's it going to be? It is Casey Beatty in the 45 by a nose, your winner, as they wreck hard after the finish. Oh, man.
Where did he come from? Bob Eldred gets second. Zulo gets third at the line.
Reese Bogue gets bounced around, ends up in 4th at the finish. And Casey Beatty, well, he'd come close the first 2 weeks, and fortune shined on him this week, Nick, suffice to say.
What in the world? What a crazy race that was, but a super entertaining ending at the end of this one. Casey Beatty finishes it with the win after Caden Fisher inexplicably pits, coming to the green-white checkered restart. Beatty wins it off of turn 4 where they were 4 wide for second place behind him. And
oh man,
Goodboo comes all the way back to finish 5th as well. Let's get going here though. We have all of our top 3 finishers, I believe. Maybe we're still waiting for Casey Beatty to get in here. In the meantime, I want to talk while we wait for Casey to get in here. I want to talk to Bob Eldred, who just joined our broadcast room here. Bob, I have one question for you. Where the hell did you come from there?
Dude, I feel so bad for Reese. I had no right front there.
Yeah, I had a feeling Casey had no idea what was going on his outside, and Reese and I were door to door. Me and you were door to door. That shit was sorry. Whoops. That was one of the most fun finishes I've had here. Thank you guys. That was a blast.
Looked like
Dude.
a lot of fun there, Bob.
Oh, it wasn't.
I mean, my goodness, coming down to the end of this thing, like you weren't even in the picture on that last green white checkered. I mean, what went through your your windshield there? What were you seeing as you came around those last couple of laps to take the checkered in second?
Yeah, I had a feeling I could run with them. I was just having trouble actually getting around people, just because I was trying to save as much tire as I could for the end. And that's exactly what that was. Is I took a late set of left sides when I had my issue, and I got put to the end of the line, and I just was able to miss the melee coming up through, and was in the right place at the right time to try to stick it where I did. I feel bad for Reese because clearly I didn't mean to run him up into the wall. It was just he left a door in the middle, and I could not take the jump at it with the grip that I had.
Yeah, Bob, and obviously it's early to talk about this, but I mean, we're 3 races in, but obviously things are going to be really tight in the point standings here. I mean, how are you feeling as we really get into the halfway point of the season next week?
I'm going to be honest, even for being Northeast racers, I have raced with very, very, very few of the guys that run in here. And I didn't expect to be anywhere near towards the front. I think I've just had a couple of lucky situations that worked out in my favor, and a couple strategy calls that seem to have pulled through to help me out. But I don't think it's going to be a common. I think once it gets into the brunt of the season, I think you'll see me start to fall a little bit.
Come on, man, you got to have some confidence in yourself.
I got confidence, but I got confidence in a lot of these guys too. I mean, I on a normal day, I wouldn't stand up to the KCP Audis or the Dylans of this world.
Well, congratulations, Bob. You guys put on a show there at the end of this race. That was a lot of fun to watch right down to the finish. So another strong run for you. Congratulations, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks a lot, and good win, Casey. That was a blast.
Yeah, we mentioned we were waiting on Casey Beatty to get in here. He has joined our broadcast booth from Victory Lane. Casey, I mean, where do we even begin with the end of that race? You were up front all day, kind of got bounced around there late with like 10 laps to go, and the seas kind of just parted for you. Caden came down pit road, and you were able to beat the land rush to the line here in this one. Take us through those last 10 or so laps through your eyes.
Oh man, I mean, it was a dogfight from the beginning. Even the early stages in the race, they're trying to get to the front and get to track position and stuff, but kind of played in our favor. People went down pit road, kind of came in with the lead, and then me and Reese were racing really, really hard. And then that last run, like around 10 laps to go, I felt he raced me a little harder than I raced him. So it kind of shuffled me back. And then, like you said, the seas kind of parted and allowed me to get back up in position. And I don't know what happened to Caden. Must have mechanical failure or something like that. Handed us the lead there, and the car was super, super tight. And like I said, I felt Reese raced me a little harder, and I didn't mean to run him up into the fence there, but I mean, racing. So the last lap, going back watching the replay, seeing 4 wide off of 4 there for the win. That was kind of crazy.
Now, Casey, the first 2 events this series, you had a really fast car, but things happened towards the end. Really didn't get the finish to show for what you had. I mean, did you get any sort of feeling when told the 10 laps to go that it could be like more of a here we go again? And how did you manage to recover from that and get the drive to seal the deal this time?
Honestly, when I got shuffled there, I was like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week and the week before. I thought it was gonna be a repeat, but no, I mean, I kind of just put my head down and gave it everything I had, and I was lucky enough that it was enough.
Well, congratulations, Casey. That was a lot of fun for us to watch up here in the broadcast booth, and you put on a show for the third straight week, man, and we're super excited for you that you get to finally take home some virtual hardware here to tell the story about it. So congratulations on your first win of 2024.
Thank you, and thank you guys for broadcasting this, and thank iACT for putting this on, and Prescott and everybody behind the scenes, and our cam setup shop. I know I've been with those guys for a long time, and Ryan Kuhn, he's an absolute unit on the Sims, so yes, sir.
Well, on to our third place finisher, a first-time podium finisher here on the iACT Tour, Dylan Zulo. Dylan, we didn't really see much of you in the first part of this race, but you came along there at the end of it, and you're part of that four-wide battle for second place coming to the line. Take us through the ending of this race, because as the first two finishers alluded, it got wild and crazy there at the end.
Yeah, I did not know what to expect, especially going into turn 3. I could start to see it unfolded. I was just holding my breath from turn 3 all the way to the start finish line, just to see what was going to happen. And I thought it was going to get real ugly there.
So Dylan, I mean, a lot of the drivers have talked to this, but how important was it to just find a way to position yourself in the front? Because we throughout it, we saw some cars pitting, some cars staying out. How important was you to just try and be in front of all the chaos that was happening?
Oh, it was really hard. I mean, I got caught up in a few incidences once I pit, and then I just kind of had to just put my head down and try and just make my way to the front as methodically as I could, without staying out of trouble. Yeah, and it was tough, but it was a really fun race, and being in front is definitely a game changer than starting in the back where I had to start tonight. But it makes it fun to be able to drive through, and I don't get to race with any of these guys in real life at all. I'm from Claremont, New Hampshire, so I don't get to race with any of these ACT guys. So it's fun to race with a different crowd.
Well, it's fun to have you here, Dylan, and thanks for putting on a good show tonight. Congratulations on your first podium in 2024. We'll see if it leads to more here as the season unfolds.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, well, that will wrap it up for us here tonight from Hickory. Michael, any closing thoughts on what was really a fun race? I think that's our best race of the season so far.
Nick, if we could put on 5 more races like that one, I think everybody would be really happy campers. And that's all I got to say about that.
Absolutely. Well, once again, we congratulate Casey Beatty on his first win of 2020-24. He takes home the victory in tonight's Bert Duffy Excavation at 100 at Hickory. Got to say a big thank you as well to GossCars.com for being the premier sponsor of the iACT Winter Warm-Up Series, as well as the RKM Setup Shop for providing us with the setups that allowed for us to have great racing, including a 4-wide finish for second place here tonight at Hickory. That's what you watch the racing for, folks, is the finishes like that. A lot of fun, and we hope you'll join us next week as we move on for 100 laps at Five Flags Speedway. But for now, for Michael Stridesberg and all the folks here at iACT, I'm Nick Mumley, signing off here tonight from Hickory. We'll see you next week, everybody.